Do you live in the US and want fast, fresh and tasty meals without the hassle of shopping or all that hard work preparation? Well, don't you worry, as a lazy man, I've got you covered. Try America's #1 meal kit service, HelloFresh, and get yourself fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered direct to your door. So why not eat well, stay healthy, and avoid the cost of regular takeout by trying HelloFresh? Just click the link in the description below for a special limited time discount and free shipping as well. Enjoy. Well, we've got through the easy stuff in the first couple of qualifying rounds in the Europa Conference League, but now we've got the big test. We go to the Netherlands to face the Dutch giants PSV, albeit they're not quite what they once were in this FM save. We've also still got transfer work to do, we've got a new domestic season on the horizon, and if we don't find a way to win one of these games, going pro at the end of this year might look tricky. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 82 of this FM23 Build a Nation story, Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are back today, as we mentioned in the intro, for the big game against PSV, a two-legged tie in the third qualifying round, and although I'm not confident about it, and although I think we will get beaten, they've got some good players, I'm not as worried as I was a week or so ago, because there's no doubt that PSV are not what they once were. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on and whether the transfer work continues this summer, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. But for now, not much in terms of transfer news. No more players in, no more players out. We're still desperately searching in the scout reports for an under-21. We lost out on Danny Search, a young striker, to Ipswich. He would have come in to replace Mark Wilson, but again, bigger money on offer from England, and they don't really care if they're playing or not. Just like the left winger and the left back that we lost out on earlier in the summer. So a bit of frustration, there's no denying that. But for now, let's go and worry about the most important thing. PSV Distillery, Larn also playing against Turkish opposition on the same day. Brighton are now in it against Finnish opposition. That's the sort of level we want to be getting to. And Hearts are playing Voluntari, which gives you an indicator of what Glentoran would be doing now if they'd stayed into the third round. In terms of Linfield, they got Latvian opposition in the third qualifying round of this competition. They win that, they're guaranteed group stage football, so let's hope they can achieve. And for us, we're going to go and make our changes. We're going to go probably not positive away from home here. I know there's a lot of fairly recognisable names in there and a lot of quality, but they've done what we've sort of seen as a split this year in FM. There's teams that have regenerated well, built younger sides, recruited well. And there are those that have then maybe not lived up to it financially, as we've seen at times in the head coach this season, and then they're just forced to get older players to fill the void for now. So, although they've got a very good front four, Zian Fleming, who they've just brought in, Pirro up front and Cynic are all 32 or 33. They've got a couple of very good young midfielders, one they signed and one from the academy, but then they've got a 35-year-old alongside a youth prospect at centre-half, and the players they have bought from England, albeit Fleming is a Dutchman going back, they're generally around the sort of high championship level. They're not them top Premier League players. So PSV have slipped a bit. They've generally finished outside the top 3 in the Eredivisie, albeit it's only been reloaded a couple of years. So I'm a little bit cautiously optimistic that we can maybe do a job in the home leg. But it's been a bit different for us here because normally we've been at home in that leg. We beat Salzburg and then struggled away. We beat Besiktas, then struggled away. Here we're going to be away from home first. If we're still in a tie after this leg, I fancy a shock because they're not stronger than Besiktas. They are weaker than Salzburg. Maybe we can do something special. Nearly 30,000 fans in. We know what our strongest side is. And it's going to look very similar to this, I think. Harley Jones could have come in, but Goss is definitely the star man now. Whitehall and Daniels in the middle we know are solid. And going forward, not much happening on Varma's front and everything else looking pretty good. So the whole squad is full, with the exception of McClelland, who was replaced on the bench last time with Aitken. We're going to revert that today. It's Neil Kane in goal, Wilson and Belder fullbacks with Goss and Kean at centre-half, Whitehall and Daniels the midfield two, Puarte and Varma on the wings, and then starman Morgan Griffiths got himself a goal last time out, is behind McElhatton up front. I'm hoping that will be enough for us. We're not going to play positive. We'll probably drop to balance, see how it starts, maybe play on the counter in this first leg. So if we can keep the score down ahead of the second, I feel we've got a real chance. Let's go and get into it. See how we get on against PSV. Well, here's the slight difference to what we saw with Salzburg last year. Where it's been another year or two now, the squad is building at PSV. So they've got, what, 9 or 10 subs there? They are improving the size of the squad. But for us, we've got a good side. We know Cynic well for PSV. He's featuring in my side currently over on Twitch in that main save. And they've got a really good midfield and attack. But I feel defensively, they can perhaps be got at. They're not the strongest side in the world. And their first choice goalkeeper is injured as well. So that's good news for us. Let's go and get through the team talk. We've got an English referee again. That seems a bit too coincidental. We're going to drop to balanced. We'll start it for now. If we need to, we'll go one further. Let's go and get into the first half. We are away at PSV Eindhoven. It's already a suggestion of how far this club has come. And they're playing a 4-4-2. They're going aggressive at us. If we can hold them off for the short term, this could be a really good night. I wonder how they've set up away from home. And I wonder if we'll still be in a tie at that point. Let's go and get through to the first half and find out. We should have the extra man in midfield. We should keep the ball all right. There's more Distillery fans in that end there than we normally get at home. Can you please turn up to our home games in the league next season? Let's skip through it into the first half. PSV v Distillery. Let's see how we get on. Well, early doors, I've got to be honest, the stats look all right. We've both had a couple of shots with one on target, and now it's the first highlight with us on the attack. Griffiths finding Whitehall through to McElhatton. He's definitely offside there. But it does show what I meant. We've got a very weak defence against us here. They've got so many good players going forward, but they are not the best at the back. And did you see the other score update down there? Larn have gone 1-0 up against their Turkish opponents. And to be fair, we got through against Besiktas a couple of years ago when they had a very good team. I'm looking at this lot now and thinking, well, the side Larn are playing aren't any better. Larn have got a team of players on 6-7 grand a week who are League One Championship level. So it's not a huge surprise. Irish football is making big strides in this save. It's not like the Welsh one in FM21 where we were shocked when TNS or Colwyn Bay were winning a game. As here come PSV, they should go one up. And Cynic does just that. The first real attacking highlight we've seen from them. But they've got that quality to carve us open. I never expected a clean sheet here. It's whether we can nick some goals at the other end. But overall, Irish football's doing well. Larn have gone 2 up in 16 minutes. So even if we don't get through again today, they're 3-0 up now with a Marshall hat-trick. I mean, they've got quality players coming into their club. Far better than we've seen in other saves, as Fleming goes for a long throw, headed away by Goss. I've watched them in real life, Millwall. I'm not sure Fleming's got a long throw, as Puarte throws down the line to Whitehall. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Whitehall delivers the cross. It's blocked to Puarte, into Morgan Griffiths, and that was the chance. Hits the crossbar with a thunderous effort. And we almost get back on terms. But if you look at the stats, we're in this game. It's level on the shots and on target. The expected goals is about the same. They've just got that additional bit of quality in the final third. But they've got an ageing squad. Are they going to tire in the second half? Or are they going to bring on some of those star youth players? We're going to ask the lads to keep it up. It's a really good performance so far. I mean, Larn are winning by more than Brighton are winning against that Finnish side. Corner kick to the back post. Goss is up. Hasn't scored for the club. Still hasn't now. It's back to Morgan Griffiths, who switches it to Kean. And Whitehall. Good effort, that. Oh, the keeper's made a shocker. Oh, my word. It's like watching the Champions League qualifiers in real life this year. The PSV keeper basically allowed Rangers through by dropping one under him. And the same has happened here. We've got a goal away from home. And we've got confidence now as well. This is ridiculous. I know PSV aren't the side they once were, but still... This is a real achievement if we can get something away from home. And it really makes us favourites in my opinion. As Daniels gives it to Griffiths and Puarte. Through ball to McElhatton. Oh, he's put it wide. You can't miss those in this sort of game. That is a big chance gone. Larn stay 3-0 up. We're 1-1. It's a good night for Irish football. As Daniels puts the cross in from a free kick. Headed away and flicked on. That goal has really rattled PSV, hasn't it? The last 5 minutes, they've been nowhere near as in control. And Wilson brings it down the right again to Puarte. Cynic, the goal scorer, nicks it, but Puarte's back in. And you've got to be fair. We are a League One level team now in most areas. So it's not an entire shock, but it's still a surprise, this one. We want to come into it as they tire. And I think their subs are going to have to save them because Varma's won it back again. Is McElhatton onside? He's finished this, so he probably was. The lino stopped in that spot. So yeah, off it goes. Stays 1-1, but Distillery are on top, which is amazing. Larn have let in a goal just after the hour mark. We'll keep an eye on that. And PSV are on the attack here. Set piece to the back post. Away to Fleming. We don't want him with time there. Whoa, that's a cracking effort. Hits the woodwork. Bell makes a crucial challenge on the second one. There's a quarter of this game to go. There are tired players. There are defenders on yellow cards. And Whitehall has just cleared another one off the line. We're really starting to struggle a bit now. It's an onslaught from PSV. They've got an outswinging corner with Nielsen. We just need to survive it and make some subs. Into the front post. Goss away. And Griffiths can pick it up. Downfield he comes. Can we get on the counter? Be a real sucker punch to them as they seem to have recovered from that goal. And with 20 minutes to go now, we're going to go and make some subs. We've got Wilson struggling at right back, so Bobby Harvey comes on. Goss for Jones, that's the classic swap. Maybe he'll be a threat in the air again. I'm also looking in midfield at Varma, but have we got a natural sub other than Scott? Probably not. I'm going to do Hatton for Wilson. Hatton's missed a couple. Wilson can just make it stick. It's not about scoring at this point. I might do Scott for Varma because he's happier at the club. And that can make a difference. Could I even go and Pardy? Maybe go for an inverted winger. That's something to consider as well. No, I'm going to go 2 traditional wingers. Lewis, Scott, and if we need to, we can drop them back. One more sub, which we'll save in case of emergency or injury. But 20 to go, and we are doing really well. We didn't expect to do too badly in this game, to lose by many. But I did not expect to be getting a point. And maybe, I know it's not a point officially, but we might get a draw to take back to Northern Ireland. As Bell plays down the line for Scott, could it get better? Not even in the league squad, and he's playing away at PSV in Europe. Here is Scott again to Griffiths. Good touch. Might work his way into the squad if he plays well. Bell gets down the left, finds Daniels. Back out to left back again. Bell cuts back. We're keeping the ball well. It's composed play. Jones looks for the big punt over the top. Griffiths and Scott will chase, but a feast gets there first, and out come PSV. Big long ball forward. The striker's not there though. Jones finds Daniels to Whitehall. Good football from us. Out to Puarte. 2 in the middle. Got across. Wilson's there. Oh my God. I know I didn't bring him on to score. What has happened to him? He misses so many chances. It's unreal. You cannot ask for a better chance than that. Hatton and Wilson have each missed a sitter in this game. And I just wonder, is that going to be the thing we regret? The only one we've not got in is that new striker. And at the moment it's costing us. At left back, going to take off Bell now for Kennedy, but we are taking the game to PSV. This is remarkable. Jones chips it up towards Wilson. Come on, that's the one thing I did bring you on for. You've at least got a challenge for the header. Zek Pateta at the back. He's one of the oldest in the team, I think. Out to Nielsen on the right. How did Scott not get sent off for that? Cynic puts Berg in. It's a good advantage. And PSV nick it in the 90th minute. Wilson not challenging for the header. Scott with an awful idea of a challenge. And getting caught a right back between Harvey. I mean, the subs just haven't been able to cope there. It's a 2-1 win for PSV. It's almost slightly against the run of play, which is madness. But a 2-1 defeat away, we're not going to complain about that. Yes, the point would have been brilliant for the coefficient, but we're well in this tie. We've seen how the AI sets up away from home in Europe. Maybe we'll take advantage of that next time. We've got to go on a hunt for a striker though, because that just wasn't good enough. 2 glorious chances missed, 1 by each striker. We'll be back next Thursday to see if it costs us. Well, a big evening in this football club's history and a big week in the transfer window as well. The scouts have been busy with that new focus and there might be a few solutions. Firstly, we are only 2-1 down against PSV. We've got a great chance. Larne go to Turkey with a 3-1 advantage. They've got a great chance. And in the Europa League, Linfield, they've got a 1-goal advantage going to Latvia. I expected more there, but on the road, hopefully they'll do all right. So those are the games we've got to look out for tonight in addition to ours. But if we go to the transfers, we have got a lever and some big news on this page as well. We go to the transfer history. Carl McClelland has left for Crewe on loan after ejecting Glentoran permanently. They're paying all of his wages till virtually the end of his contract, so I've got no problem with that. We have got a new player in on trial as well, which is Kieran Feeney. He is a striker who's not the best finisher. I'm looking at him more at the moment to see if he'll be a number 10 or right winger. The problem at the moment, as it was last year with that Lee O'Neill, is wages, so hopefully he drops his demands after a while. But if we go back to the transfer centre, we have basically given up on permanent under-21s because we keep missing out on targets. So we've gone for the best 4 in terms of loan options. One of them we might have to pay for, which is the one who hasn't agreed yet. And there's 3 others that have, and we're just waiting for the scout reports before deciding whether to bring them or not. So it could well be a bit of turnaround there. We just need one in truth so we can sell someone and get this guy in instead, that we don't have to register for the squad. But if we can get 2 or 3 to improve us, then great. I'm looking at the one that hasn't agreed yet. I mean, my word, that is some player if we can pull that one off. If not, I'm looking at the likes of McPhillips as a left winger and striker. Big upgrade on Scott. Can we then get Varma out the club for his asking price? Maybe those are the things we can look at. But for now, let's go and get to the second leg against PSV. We'll worry about all that transfer stuff next week. It looks like they're playing a 4-2-3-1 rather than a 4-4-2. And we've seen the AI generally has been a bit defensive away from home in Europe. So we'll see if that's the case again today. But to be honest, as much as I want us to do well here, I am more worried about the other two just getting through, because that's crucial to the nation and their continuing build of coefficient. 1,500 fans in at Windsor Park, but we're going to play on the front foot here. Take the game to a side that want to play defensively and see if we can catch them out. I think David Aitken is going to be on the bench by default, because we've obviously lost McClellan since the last leg. And the team itself, I think, will go the same. There's no need to change what is a very good team. Puarte's in the form of his life on the right wing. Really hope he can keep doing well. And some of these other stars are going to be playing for their place if we get the targets in we want on loan. So let's go and submit the team. The second leg against PSV. We're well in this tie. We've got a great opportunity. But can we see it over the line? Well, again, a good team for PSV. I think it's the same 11 again, albeit they're playing now with a 4-2-3-1 instead of a 4-4-2. But it is a good side. They have got quality. But we've seen this year, Besiktas, Salzburg, whoever it is, even Salzburg, who tanked us 6-1 at home. Away from home, they were so defensive. They cost themselves the game. We saw it with Breidablik, who showed no ambition, but then gave us a right game at home. So it could be an opportunity for us. But we know there's a lot of away fans in. We know PSV are a big club. And this is a stage that we've only performed on once, and we've got beaten at it. We went out to Nurkopin on penalties. Can we go one better? Because 2 years ago, we got close to getting to that professional status. And now we need to try and do it again. Into the second leg we go. Keep an eye on Lahn's score at the top of the page there. But for now, we're 2-1 down on aggregate. And we need to try and find a goal as Wilson gives it to Kian. It's mad to think that I'm looking at a PSV game and targeting as a, maybe we could get through here. Maybe this could be our breakthrough year. As Kane gets the ball wide to Bell. I would imagine PSV might be a seeded side as well. So if we could sneak through, maybe that's our chance at the groups. Because I think then we'd probably get an easier game. I'll have to look and see who it was, because prior to it, when I just saw the draw, I didn't expect to have a chance. But PSV side is not great, and they are not what they once were. As we're playing the ball around at the back, can we break them down? Kian gets it wide to Puarte. Again, you can see they're not really pressing us high. They're sitting in a shape and waiting for a mistake, which this time we make. They've got their star man in midfield, Kaladzic. Gets it wide to the winger. Out to the right-hand side. He's the only youthful one in that attacking team. And that is absolutely stunning. We said at the start of the first leg, he is the best player. And Kaladzic has just scored a delightful volley from 25 yards. I mean, what do you do with that? A brilliant goal. Their only shot on target so far. On the expected goal front, it's gone down as a 1 in 100 chance, 0.01. But he's put it in the top corner. You can't do anything about that. Half an hour gone. We've been aggressive here, but we're not able to get on the front foot. And maybe I got a little bit too optimistic after the away leg, because they've had a set piece there. And they are on the front foot a bit more than the other sides we've seen. So maybe tactically they're better off. And that is another brilliant goal. Kane punches the corner 25 yards. And Joel Pirro, 25-30 yards out. You can't call that a Kane mistake. He got a good punch on that. And then the rebound is smashed in the top corner from 30 yards. What can you do? 2 wonder strikes is the difference at the minute. And without that, we'd be in with a shot. So I'm not sure we're going to get through now, but we've lost to brilliant goals, and that's all you can ask, because McElhatton's in. I think he was offside anyway. 5 to go. We've lacked inventiveness. Lahn still 0-0. They should be going through, and that is now where we turn our attention. We'll have a look at Linfield in a minute as well. But at half-time, PSV expected goals 0.13, and 2 absolute screamers have basically put them through. So what we're going to say now, you've got nothing to lose. Just go for it, lads. Into the second half, we're being positive. I'm not sure we're going to get something now. Let's go and have a look at the Europa League. Linfield 2-0 up away from home. Excellent work from them. So Linfield are through. They've got group stage football. Lahn are half an hour from going through and being just 1 tie away. But we're falling at the same hurdle again, as Lahn have scored their away goal. They're happy now. 4-1 on aggregate for them. we're going to make changes, but in truth, it's probably over. And it's two of the greatest goals you will see at this level. So what are we going to do? We've brought on Mpardi and Wilson. I'm going to take Curtis Bell off for Kennedy. And then at the back, what else can we do? Not really a lot. I'm going to take Sean Daniels off for Tom Robinson, who's nearly ready to take over, I think. We'll save the last sub again in case of injury. But a quarter to go. I'm a bit deflated because, look, we've been well in this tie. Even in this game, our expected goals is 4 times PSV's. But you can't legislate for quality players scoring screamers. And they've not really shown much more ambition, albeit they've been a bit higher up the pitch. But they've just hit 2 worldies. It's life, isn't it? In the box, the ball comes. Fleming's in. That one isn't a screamer. That is a really poor bit of defending. The team's all over the place now. It's 5-1 on aggregate. And at home, since we got into Europe, this is our best performance. Wow. The assistant is actually telling me to take Neil Kane off, which is scandalous. To sub a goalkeeper in this tie. We've got Kean or Whitehall to take off. We've got our first league game in a few days, don't forget. So I'm going to give Whitehall a rest, I think. We'll bring on Robert Burns. We'll swap Robinson to the other side. I'm not so worried at centre-half because we can go for Goss and Jones next game. That's fine. But Robert Burns will get 10 minutes. Whitehall gets a rest. We've got to get in the top 2. And with Larne and Linfield seemingly on their way to group stage football again, they'll keep doing the work for the nation. And then we've got to go and win the title because we've got a good enough squad now. If we get them 1 or 2 great loan signings in, maybe Feeney into the club, as Griffiths nicks it, can we at least get a goal? Wilson's in. Oh, I hope that striker's good because, let's be honest, Wilson is not the answer here. His attitude's letting me down and I want him out the club. He's really annoying me with the amount he's missing as Robinson in the middle picks it up. Chance to go forward to Wilson. It's good football. Lovely turn. His touches are great, just can't finish. Wilson turns back again. Loses the ball this time. Varma nicks it, only for Pirro. And now Fleming brings it away. PSV able to play on the counter. Wilson fouls him. Oh, I hope the striker's the best one. Please, scout reports, do me a favour. Because Wilson, we might get a bit of money for. More importantly, big wages off the wage bill. And a player that's over 21 who's not contributing out of this football club for the long term. A 3-0 defeat on the night, a 5-1 on aggregate. But Larne and Linfield continue the European dream for Northern Ireland. Don't know why I praised them for that. Let's just check that they both got through and who they'll be facing in the next game. So Larne got through, they drew on the night, which does affect the coefficient a bit, but 4-2 win on aggregate, that's a cracking effort. And if we also go and have a look at Linfield, they should have done well as well. Crucially though, for getting to that 3rd round, we get over £500,000 rather than a 250 grand. So that will help the finances massively, up to 1.8, but a lot of you have said the cut-off point is 2 million, so we're not quite there yet. Larne will be facing, for a place in the group stages, Botev Plovdiv. They've got to beat them. If you beat Turkish opposition and Viborg, you've got to then beat them. So group stage football should be there for Larne. This is where we've got to turn our attention now. The Larne game has been moved, but we've got Linfield between their 2 European legs. We've got Coleraine on the first day of the season. It is a horrid start, but I think that's what we've got to come back for. And I know it's a lot of action. It's a top-heavy season. I've got to show Linfield and deadline day because I think there will be some signings in and we'll be trying to get a few out by then as well. We'll then leave it quite a while before coming back, but we got the coefficient up a bit more with 4 wins in the same season. But PSV were just too good, and in the end, we leave it to the other 2 to fight in Europe for Northern Ireland. If you did enjoy this episode, a half-fought 2 legs, but a couple of screamers and bits of quality costing us, and please do put a thumbs up on the video. If you want to find out who we get in, who leaves the club, and whether we can get a result in the early title clash against Linfield, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back in a couple of days' time to find out all the answers, but in the meantime, we've got our 10-year bookmark in the head coach tomorrow, followed by what will be either a massive transfer special or job offer special, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled for them. But then Linfield here in a couple of days. It's the 2nd game of the season, but it might still be a crucial one if we want to win our first Northern Irish Premiership title. Hopefully you're looking forward to that. In the meantime, all the other playlists in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and the blog story as well. And I'll see you back here in a couple of days' time for transfer news for Linfield, and hopefully the start of a title push.